Welcome to Anakin Plays Railway Empire. Alright, hi, this is Anakin and welcome to part 5 of our first look at the Northern Honshu scenario from the Japan DLC. Mission 4, we got our 3-city cluster going up here in Akita. We have to grow this region, we have to produce a bunch of sake, we have to produce toys. And we have... let's see, what we got? We got our sake in Akita. We've got sake and we have a tailor in Akita. We have soy sauce and lumber in Nishi. And we have cloth and our toy manufacturer here in Yokota. So if we look at our objectives, we've already done the 100 sake. And we're growing nicely, 171,000 and growing against that, but we produce 0 miniatures, which doesn't seem right. And so let's take a look. Here's our toy industry right here, and we can see that it's missing paint. But excuse me while I curse a moment internally. Notice this. See this industry? Total profit. How would it make profit if it isn't producing something? So it has to be producing. It is producing. We're getting paint. It just so happens at this moment we're not getting it, which says we're not getting enough paint. So what does that say? We are producing. I want to click on this warehouse. There's nothing there. We have to be producing. There's no way they could have made a profit if it wasn't producing. Now, where could we find... Oh, we've got a problem right here to be fixed too. This little short line doesn't have a supply tower, so I'm going to throw one in there, which can be shared. All right, so if... Where's our paint coming from? Oh, okay. We don't have enough paint coming into the system, obviously. But we are bringing paint up from down here, down in our 4-city cluster. So let's just see. Here's one that's got a ton of paint. Let's watch what happens when this train gets into and drops off its paint at that warehouse. Let's just see what happens. Okay, here's the warehouse. Here's our train coming in, loaded with paint. Okay, there you can see the paint going in to the warehouse and coming back out. The toy industry is now making toys, right? So we are absolutely producing toys at this moment. And let's see if we got credit for them. We did not. So, so what it says is produce 100 miniatures in Akita. And then this one says boost the area of Akita. And that one says Akita. And it just so happened I had the sake in Akita. I know it's probably pronounced sake or saka. But no, it's sake in West Virginia. So, okay, so I'm making sake in the wrong place. We have to make it over here in Akita. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that just lovely? Okay. I think the first thing we do is knock this down because it'll just compete for resources that need to be funneled over here. So, we need to put a museum in Akita for sure. But I think we're going to have to knock down this tailor right here. We're going to put a toy industry in Akita. We'll bump it up Well, we can bump it up a lot. Okay, level 4. It's going to want coal, paint, and kaolin. Okay. Coal, paint, and kaolin. So, we've got, well, let's see, we've got salt over here. What I'd like to do over here, I think, is make the paint. So, paint. We can put a paint industry out there, and we can bump it up a couple of times, and it needs sake, salt, and plant fiber. Now the sake is being made over here, and we have plenty. We've got a lot of sake in Akita, so the sake can come over here on our city-to-city line, so that should be all right. And then we need, for the paint, we need, let's see, what, soy sauce, no. We need salt and fiber. Okay, so we can set this warehouse to receive the salt and the fiber. Let's bump it up. There's fiber. There's salt. Okay, there's salt right here. And there's fiber right out here. So if we get those going into that, now let's see. This line here hooked into this would go straight into that warehouse. Lovely. Salt would be easy to move in, so we can get salt and fiber going to that warehouse and start making paint. So that's number one. We've got to get the paint going before we worry about getting the toy factory going. Okay. Let's go out here to this fiber. Can we buy this? Yes. Yes, we can. Okay. Now we could run it in through here. Would that work? If we hook it up to this line right here that is carrying rice, and we come down here, we could go to that warehouse, but we couldn't go to the city. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Ugh, I'm trying to go over here. This line would have to be changed a lot to work. Let's go over here. This one is pretty easy. Won't take a lot of changes, and we can just run a line like this. Yeah. And that may, or yeah, it did make it. Okay, it's kind of a tight curve, but it made it. Get rid of the short block. And that one's kind of short. Okay. So now, let's do a line from here to, oh, I keep forgetting what I'm doing, to here. How long does that take? 68 days. Okay, we'll run a bunch of trains, get that going. So now we've got fiber and we need salt. And the salt is right here. Can we buy that? Yeah, we can. Let's wait till we have a little bit of money and we'll buy that. Okay, now we own that salt, and we will run it into this warehouse. Give it a supply tower and run full trains into that warehouse. Okay, so now we've got salt and fiber coming in here. We should get sake from Akita coming in here. Yokote is growing good. We can put a museum in Yokote. Put it out there next to our new plant factory. And the paint, all it's missing salt, which is on its way. Okay, now that should get us started with paint. And then the paint can be moved city to city from Yokote over to Akita. Now, what do we need on the toy side? We need coal, paint, and the kaolin. Okay, so we were running kaolin to here. We could run it out of here. Let's see. How do we want to do this? I think I want to add, well, let's see. First thing I see is this station. Let's expand it so it has 4 tracks so it can handle more traffic. It's getting pretty busy. All right. Then the next thing to do, let's do this. Let's put in a warehouse, big warehouse with signaling control, and put it. Oh, good. It will connect. See, we can connect to Akita right there. And in this one, we want coal. Oh, and I just thought of something. Okay, Nightwish, this is for you. We're going to go here and let's see. Newspapers related to the game. Only historic. We're going to turn those off because I have played this game for many, many hours and never read the newspaper articles. I just click them out of the way, so they're gone. Okay, so let's see here. Let's just. What was I doing? See, that newspaper article threw me off. Okay, we're going to go to coal and man, I just don't know this supply chain well. Coal, paint, and kaolin. Okay, so we're going to tell this to accept coal, and we're going to tell it to accept this kaolin stuff, and we're going to tell it to accept toys as well. Okay. All right. The paint is coming city to city. You know what? I'm going to turn on paint as well. In case we add another paint manufacturer somewhere else. Okay, so let's go get that coal. The coal right now is coming to that other warehouse. So what we're going to do here is build a line like something like this that hooks into this freight line over here, because this freight line is where the coal trains are coming in. That looks fine. Oh shoot, I've got it. It almost looked fine, but it was completely wrong. Okay, we're going to come from here. And we need to hook up to that outside line. Now shoot. So now let's go out here and find all these trains that are hauling coal and change them. We're not going to use 13 anymore. We're going to use 15, our new warehouse. Ah, shoot. Which one did I just do? This one. We're going to use 15. Okay, so I'm going to copy that line, and then I'm going to look for the other examples of that. So 15. 15. So I'm pasting the line that I copied. 15, I think that's it. 13, no. 15. Okay, there we go. And I don't understand, how do you end up with all these weird, it's weird. Well, anyway, never mind. I'm talking to myself a little bit. So now these trains will be delivering into this warehouse. That's going to give us coal. Our kaolin line, we've got it currently running into this 13. But what we can do is change them as well. We can say, okay, we don't need to go to 13 anymore. You can go to 15. You can see it'll come down. It'll just go through that warehouse and then run over. Oh, no, it won't. No, it won't. Okay, we need to fix that. We need a more direct connection. So what we're going to do is come across and then plug into our system like that. And now this one. Okay, now he's going to come down, go through the warehouse, and go back and go to that warehouse, which is where we want. So we're going to copy that line and make it 15. There we go. Okay, so now we have coal and kaolin coming in here. See, there's some coal arriving as we speak. Our paint hopefully is coming from here. There's Saki going back. How's our traffic here? 19%. Oh, it's good. So let's run a couple more trains. Okay. And then here, our paint factory is missing salt. It is. Okay, and this is just loading too slowly. So we're going to bump that up. Yeah, crap. We're going to bump it up again. Spent a lot of money on salt. And something is salt, 99. Now, one of the challenges here is we need the salt for the paint factory, but we've got the paint factory in a city that's big enough that it also wants salt. It needs 3 a week. The city needs 3 a week. And then we need, at our current setting, we need 2.4 of salt, and I'm going to even bump that up. 4, we need like 7 a week. We need a train piling in there every week. So 7 a week, we're only making 5.5, so here we go. We're going to bump it up to a level 5 salt mine so we can get salt going in there. We need a lot of salt. Let's see. Are we getting any? What are we missing? The kaolin. Is it coming? Is it coming? It should be on its way. Stop. Here comes some. "91 days. Okay. This guy back here is a little slow too. Wow. No. We'll accept that.
We are steadily and evenly approaching a bright new
check it out.
future.
Okay. We finished our city growth. We had that nailed with a 3-city cluster. We can put another industry here. No point. I don't think putting paint here is going to work. It's just we're not going to get enough resources for it. So why don't we put something else we can use? Looks like noodles. We can use noodles. Let's put a noodle factory in Akita. Bump it up a couple of times. It's getting plenty of rice. Our sake factory, we could bump it up once. Make sure we're making enough sake to go back. Yeah, see, we're not getting many exports. Let's go ahead and overkill that sake. There's tons of rice here. Well, there's none now, but there's ton in the city warehouses. So are we producing now? There, we've produced 8. Okay, so we're actually producing. And this warehouse says, see that plus 9. Not sure how that calculated. This is our shoot. Let's look at globally. Our toy production is 5.5 per week. So every week we're making 5.5, assuming we keep this thing hopping. Right now we are. It needs 2.7 paint. How much paint are we making? We're making plenty. We're making plenty of paint. Well, do the cities consume paint? No, they don't. So that's a good thing. The cities don't consume the paint. We're making plenty of paint. Our paint factory is being well supplied. The fiber. I don't pay ransoms, even though that's the salt. See. How are we getting fiber? Okay, I'm confused. This fiber is all going to... Okay, and we own this. We can bump this up. This needs to be producing more. Market crier. Give us more mail. That'd be fine. Now we're producing fiber at a rate of, up in this area, we're producing, 8 a week. And we need 8 a week just there. And does this one need fiber? Oh, I'm getting myself confused. Yeah, we just need the fiber here. So if we make 8 a week, why don't we make a little bit more? We'll make sure that we've got enough fiber going. These trains will load faster and get down here faster, and that'll be good. Our toy industry is well supplied. Now we're looking pretty good. Now the promoter, we've got our goal here, so I want to go back. I'm bound and determined to build this 3-city cluster or 4-city cluster down here. Are any of these growing right now? No. We're going to sick our promoter on Yokohama. what's this one? 43 and 176, and we're running 51. Yeah, let's stick with this train. This class 5500. It's fine. Okay, now are we making progress? You know, we're up to 30 now. Are we going to make it in time? I don't know. I think we might. So I'm certainly going to be PO'd if we don't. And I want to play with this thing while we're waiting. So Saitama is on the verge of growing. If we look in this warehouse right here, there is practically nothing. The only thing in there is chicken. And we cannot move enough lumber down there fast enough. And I don't see anybody waiting. How many we got? Oh, well, we need more trains, first of all. My favorite solution is to run more trains, of course. Because you see here, there's plenty loading at this logging. There's plenty to be loaded. We're just not running enough trains to get them out of there and get them down here. Because this sawmill is just chewing through it in a hurry. Plus, the city itself consumes wood. It consumes, well, 22 a week total demand, including the sawmill. 22 a week that it wants. This guy out here is producing 16. He's not quite producing enough. We're not going to buy him for 10 million, but we'll just keep running trains down there. And he should expand if he sees the opportunity. The other thing we can do is maybe expand the station. We'll put repairs in, expand the station, and have it so we can load. I'm going to load a whole redundant thing. And DMAX SBA responded again. I saw an email about the problem I was having making the fancy little bridge thing. And I think what he suggested to do is build your line back like that, but then build your bridge off of this, so that you have a clean. See, that works. So you have a less of a gap. You just have a small gap here and a nice straight line here. So it doesn't look quite so weird and curved the way mine typically do. So what I want to do is run this down and actually hook it into this. So here I'm going to have to introduce a bit of an ugly curve. And run this back. Double track it in like so. Okay, and now let's see, is anybody using that? Good, nobody is. So what we're going to do now is set up a line like this from track 2 that runs full and goes into that warehouse. That way we're loading, we should be able to load twice as fast because we're going to have trains loading in 2 platforms out of this station. See, there's plenty there to be loaded. We'll just have, see now we got 2 trains loading instead of 1, so that should speed us up considerably. And the reason I did this weird looking thing here is to give these trains for that track their own waiting platform, so we don't get stuck in a situation where they're all lined up. Maybe I think you can see it where we would have the train that all the trains waiting here are waiting on one guy over here. So anyway, I'm trying to avoid that. So that should get us more logs into this warehouse. But the problem's going to get worse, because what I want to do to really fully flesh this out is expand all these businesses. So, and that silk mill, we're going to have to think about that one. Well, that would be if I had a paint problem. Now, I don't think we have a paint problem up here, because I think we've got this fixed. I think we're making as much paint as we can use. We're up to 48 that we've made. There's 37. Okay, now we need a line. Remember, we used to be pulling all of our logs. We're coming up here to the warehouse, and they were running over here to grab toys and take them down here to this warehouse. And see, they've taken a couple. And that was holdovers probably from what we'd already made. So what I want to do here is set up a line that goes from this warehouse here and takes those toys down here, kind of staging them to potentially take down to our 4-city cluster, which is the only place big enough to and don't take anything back. Yeah, so basically just take toys down there to that warehouse. There we go. And we'll run a couple of those, I guess. So a couple of trains, their job is just to empty toys out of this warehouse and take them to another warehouse. Yeah, look at this. Our toy industry is well supplied. It's going to go up to a level 5, which means it needs 8 and 8. Let's just see if we've got that. 8 coal, 8. Wow, that coal is way smaller than it needs to be. How much have we got? Man, do we want to buy that for 5 million? We have no coal there, but we have coal in our storage, in this internal storage. So we have enough coal to make like 16 more toys. Yeah, we'll stay with that. We'll stay with that for now. So hopefully we'll make it. Hopefully we haven't screwed up our perfect score. And notice how I say we screwed it up. Thank you guys for misreading that requirement. That was great. Okay. Back down here where we keep playing. I'm going to just let that run up there and assume we're looking good because it seems like a decent design. Now, where I'm not happy is these city-to-city warehouse things. The problem we're having now is the cities are getting too big to shuttle stuff between the warehouses. Look at this, 284,000 people. It's consuming stuff at an almost alarming rate. What do we got here? We're actually starting to, no, see how fast that got sucked up? Now that's actually going somewhere else. But I think what I'd like to do is start running some more direct lines to some of these warehouses. So, like, for example, is he getting any wood or any soy? So he's got no soybeans, no wood. Now that could be okay if he's got plenty in his. Let's promote Tokyo. Okay, so what was I saying? If he's got in any storage, so wood, he needs 3 and he's getting none. And soy, he needs 2 and he's getting none. So let's start running. Let's start augmenting things. Let's help things out a little bit here. Let's expand this station again. And let's run a line down here and feed directly into this warehouse. So let's set up a line from track 3, running full, and going down here. Run a couple trains directly in there to make sure they have wood. Then we can do that same thing. We've got a fourth track out here. We can go out here and plug in on this side to that warehouse. And let's run a couple of trains out of track 4 full. Going here. And what should happen is the owner, the computer owner of this, so oh look at that. See, he's already bumped it up to level 5. He's recognized that we're just asking for more and more now. So this one should start seeing wood coming in there. Sure enough. Okay, good. Now, is he getting any wood? Yeah, yeah. This is actually working. Because we've doubled up on these trains going out, we're actually starting to get some wood into this warehouse. Not much, though. I mean, we're just barely keeping up. And by the way, I said this is going to get worse. We're going to bump this up to level 4. We're going to bump this up to level 4. This one, I think we're actually going to go to level 5. And over here, the noodles can go to 4. The tailors can go to 4. This extra sake brewery, I don't know, let's see. Oh, we're making this paint over here, which isn't getting enough salt. Let's see, we have salt, I think, coming in from here, don't we? Yeah, from here. He's only 11. Oh, we own that. We can fix that. Okay, we'll pump up that salt. Okay. So now we can move more salt down here. So we've got Chiba growing now. Now Yokohama is very low growing. Low on lumber. We'll bump that up to a 5. Look at that. 42 wood it takes a week now. But we can make 28 lumber. And these cities need, let's say, need about 16. 4 times 4, 16. And then this tool maker needs 6. So we need like 22 a week. And we're making 28. Good.
The cities are filled with life, and a new power has been kindled.
Well, look at that.
That will also carry on north for many years to come.
We made it. In spite
it
of
is
doing the
time to
wrong
dedicate
thing
yourself to
completely,
one last
we
task.
managed to
Tokyo is well
adjust
protected
and
in the
make
heart
it.
of Japan, but the glamour of Western cities like New York or London outshines everything. Will you be able to steal some of their shine? A small start, but persistence is key. Keep your efforts going, and you will surely achieve your goal. It is amazing to see what it takes to feed a city this size. This would never have been possible without the railway.
Okay, so check this out. We got this one final task. He called it final. Did you notice? I think that guy had to be educated in London because that accent. So, grow the Tokyo Bay area to 800,000. Make sure I'm doing the right thing. Tokyo Bay territory. Okay, it's at 728. We're doing very, very well. And this was a lucky coincidence at first. I just decided to go 4-city cluster, which was perfect for this task. And I did see comments before I got to this final point of someone had mentioned there was this task coming up. So I did kind of know in advance, but then I didn't know in advance. I really, truly didn't. So All right, let's see how we're going to grow this and knock this off and finish this off. The one I'd like to actually work on is Yokohama, because Yokohama is kind of the smallest one. I think it's the smallest one of this group. 126, 284, 189, 127. We could do Chiba too. We still got the sake problem in Chiba and salt. We just bumped up our salt. That should get better. The salt should get better. But yeah, let's work on Yokohama. And here's the problem with this whole design of the four-city cluster is, remember, this was a pass-through warehouse. Well, pass-through warehouses are awesome for two-city clusters, but for a four-city cluster, having it participate in this give away your stuff to all the other ones, and this is a key one because it has three of our goods coming in here. It has the rice, it has the octopus, and it has the plums. And when you start moving them out to other places, your two-city cluster doesn't do so well. Now, Saitama has done great and kind of stolen everything, taken everything, but we haven't done so well here in Yokohama. So what I'd like to do now is just feed Yokohama and just keep working on it growing. And occasionally one of these will probably get in a cycle where it's growing, but we're going to grow Yokohama as our way of finishing off this mission, this scenario. Yokohama has in it three industries. The tool makers, we know we're struggling to get the lumber, but we should have, I mean, we're making as much as we can over here. So we should see the lines going from this one here, sake going back, sake going back. Let's give it another line. So there comes some cloth out, but it doesn't have any lumber to export. So one thing we could think about is setting up another lumber industry somewhere. Like Takasaki, we really didn't use Takasaki. It just kind of sat there the whole time. And if we had wood anywhere even remotely close, well, right there's wood, we could run it to Takasaki and we could run lumber to Yokohama and make a pretty, make money, but money's not the thing now. It's growth. Do we want to do that? Do we want to just run lumber business? Yeah, why not? Why not? Why not? Let's go here. Let's buy this Taylor, which is not getting anywhere. Let's knock it down. And let's put in a sawmill. Okay, so we got a sawmill in Takasaki. And that sawmill is going to need lumber from out here. We got plenty to ship. So let's just let's expand this station. Go through this little gap right here. And let's go into Takasaki. Like that. There. Whoop. There, that looks pretty nice. Double track that line into Takasaki like so. Give it a tower, and we're going to start running. Out of track 2, run full logs to Takasaki. Okay, now we need to get from Takasaki to Yokohama. Now this warehouse right here has very little traffic, and we can expand it to have 4 tracks. So what we can do is now run out of Takasaki. Now I wish I'd run that over on the other side. So much so that I'm going to delete this track. And we're going to connect this to this other side over here. Like that. Okay. Now we can take this line and connect it like so, and what we can do is run a train from here to here, to that station, which isn't overly busy at all. And the nice thing is we can even take some sake back and make money on the line. I'm going to go ahead and expand this station. Here comes our lumber in. Our sawmill. We can't expand it because the city's too small, but that's okay. We'll get a nice supply. We'll get some lumber coming out of here. I thought I put line. Didn't I put trains? Oh. Ah. This warehouse, I forgot one thing. This warehouse has to connect to that line that's going into the city of Yokohama. Okay, so now all those trains were going off on some squirrely route, but now they should be well, what in the world are they doing? Wait a minute, I got the wrong train. I want that. Oh, here we go. My God. Okay, now their route is correct, but they've gone off on some squirrely route. I forgot to make this connection. I was assuming it when I was doing my planning that I would do that, but then of course I forgot. So it's going to take them a while to get over there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy. I'm going to copy it 4 times, but then these trains that are up here running these squirrely routes, we're just going to send them away. That was a goof, but we're just going to accept our failure and move on. So now we should have trains running right through here. Look at that. Look at that lumber going down here to Yokohama. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, that's one thing. Now the next thing is we got this silk mill that needs paint. Paint is such a pain. I'm really inclined to knock down that industry and put in, we don't have a plum distillery anywhere, so why don't we do that? So let's knock down that silk mill, put in a plum distillery. And let's bump it up. And let's bump up this tool maker at least one time. Okay. And now, okay. So we've got, the other thing I'd like to do is get logs going directly into Yokohama. What I'd like to do, in fact, is give them what they probably should have had all along, their own warehouse for the core fundamentals. So we're going to put in a warehouse with signaling control. No, a big warehouse with signaling control. We're going to attach it to Yokohama. And in this warehouse, you're going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to take the 6 most basic goods. Okay? And we're going to run these logs. We're going to run another log line here. I think we're actually even going to put in another station up here. Like this. Okay, we've got a station here. It's coming in like this, so we want it to come down here and pick up this line. And then we want to, let's see, and it should, yeah. Now we're going to go from here, run full. Shoot. We could run it into the station directly, but I don't want to. I want to run it into this warehouse, so that's easily enough done. We're going to build a line like this. This. Okay. Now let's start that line over. We're going to set up a line, run full to this warehouse. That takes 84 days, that's all. So we'll run some trains down there and put wood directly into Yokohama. Then we're going to do the same thing with the plum, especially since we now have that plum distillery. So we're going to take this farm down here, which has plenty to export, plenty to ship off, and we're going to, let's just expand this station. You know, sometimes I'm putting repairs on these rural stations. It's nice if you can spread out once you've got plenty of money to put repairs out, out in these rural stations, and it actually kind of spreads the pain of those repairs and makes it less likely that you're going to have a lot of big holdup in your city where you're doing your repairs. Early on, once I get to the point where I'm doing any repairs at all, I tend to do them in the city just because that's where all the trains are headed. And I can get more. Shoot, what have I done here? I think I'd rather have. We have the money, so shoot. Crap. Let's try this again. Shoot. I'm tired of fooling with it. Just build the tunnel and be done with it. Okay. Okay, make sure they have a supply tower. And let's run a line from line 2, run full, go to that warehouse. Okay, now we've got plums, we've got logs coming in there. Let's see what needs more rice. Let's see, there's tons of rice up here to export, tons of it. So we're going to set up rice. Now we could run more off of this. How's our traffic? Our traffic is heavy there, so I want to build another line. I think what we'll do is just build a train station here. Let me think. I'd like to get it to go into that. Yeah. We're just going to run a train station that goes over all this, over or under, and hooks into that line right there. We may have to go out here to do it. Goes over or under that and hooks into that. That's fine, just like that. Run full, take rice to this warehouse. Okay, now we've got rice pouring in there. Soybeans. Soybeans, they might be a little tough. There's some over here. We can't build like across the bay. We've got coal here, and yes, this, and a couple of people that have commented about, well, there's coal here. Why didn't you run that over there? Well, look at all this track and all its mess. I mean, we could have run it, I guess, through here, but that's it's already busy, and it was going to get busy. Yeah, I picked the coal up here. It is a long way off, but I knew I could afford to run the line, and I could hook the iron ore into that same line. And oh, look at this! Speaking of which, here's soybeans right here. We could run soybeans into that same line, run them through that same path, and run them down here to this warehouse. So we're going to do that. We're going to go. And I got to figure out what's the deal here in a minute. Let's run soybeans to that track right there. And now we can run a line from here, full of soybeans, to that warehouse in Yokohama. That'll give Yokohama some soybeans. Now their train is waiting for a clear route. Well, that means he's waiting on loading. This one is loading. This warehouse doesn't have any space, so we'll give it some more space. That should clear up all of this. Yeah, there we go. Never did finish that. May not. We'll see what we need to do next. Are we growing at all? 751. Up to 58. We're getting there. We've got rice coming in. Soybeans on the way. Octopus. Octopus. Let's give it some more octopus. Let's take octopus from here and run it into that warehouse. Should be easy enough. I think another station will do. No, a small train station. Put it like this. Connect it like that. Set up a line like that. I think we'll just run one train. So that'll get Octopus into Yokohama. Make sure they have that. We're going right down the checklist. They make their own sake. They've got soy sauce. They're getting logs now. Tea. Okay, there's tea right up here that we never have hooked into. So how hard would it be to run tea? You know what? If we ran tea right off of this city-to-city line, we don't care about the bonuses and freight and stuff now. I mean, the passenger stuff. So what if we ran a line like this that just connected that line to this line? Make sure I grab the cone. There we go. Put in signals like that. Got rid of the short block. And got rid of the short block here. Okay, so now we can run T from here. I'll do my favorite thing, connect it right in front of a supply tower, just like you shouldn't do. Okay. Okay, now we can set up a line, run full of tea into that warehouse. Okay, and we see Yokohama is growing. So we've got rice, soybeans, Akita, log, fiber. It's not getting enough clothing, but now the clothing has to come from Tokyo, and we may or may not. Our tailor, let's bump it up to level 5, and the noodles to 5. Let's see. Okay, we've got Yokohama growing. We're just going to keep growing Yokohama until we finish this off. I think that's the plan. It's got plenty of plums. Why not make it a level 5? That way the plums are more important and we'll have even higher satisfaction. Toolmaker is not getting... Oh, he's still not getting enough logs. What's going on here? Let's take a look. Here comes some. We've got them to export. And we've got them on the way. We've really filled up this line quite a bit. The other thing we could do is build a bypass. Around that warehouse. So you don't have to actually go through the warehouse. I'll try to make it nice looking. Get rid of that short block. So now see, they'll automatically start taking that bypass, which takes traffic off this warehouse. And then if we go back on the other side and go back around here like this, yeah, like that. Give it signals, get rid of this short block right there. And There we go. That'll take the pressure off this warehouse. We've got our Sawmill City growing. We'd love to bump it up to a level 2, but that's not going to be. I think when it hits 20,000 we can do that. But I'm not as concerned about that. We're at 765 now. And Yokohama is still growing. And clothing and noodles, we've done all we can do. The lumber, we've got more coming. We've got the plums. We've got the plum wine, of course. The salt. Salt. They could use salt. 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 You know what? Another thing I'm going to do, I don't know if there's I don't usually look for the achievements, but I'm going to open that up just in case that's an achievement, that you have access to the entire map, which I think we do now. Yeah, I think that gives us everybody. Okay, so what were we saying? Salt. There's salt here. Which, interestingly enough, is right off our passenger line, which we could actually use that salt if we wanted to. We could run it into this warehouse, but wow, look at the consumption. Even with all that stuff we've got going, this city, because it's pretty big, is consuming all this stuff as fast as we can get it in there. So like here comes what's this right here? Here comes some plums into that warehouse. Now watch the warehouse for the plums. See, the city is consuming them. Look at that, as fast as we can load them in there. That's why once your cities get big enough, the warehouse to warehouse kind of design stops working, because you just can't. The city, whatever city's getting the stuff originally, is just going to eat everything up. It's just that simple. I think we can now bump this guy up, which will actually help us grow even more and make us more money. So he's doing okay, but it's really hard to keep enough lumber going down there. So we'll kind of take a look at Takasaki if we ever get to the point where we can make that a level 2. So he's getting plenty of wood. He's got a nice direct supply. All right, so what were we saying? Salt. We could conceivably run salt from somewhere. I forget where it was. Right here. Along that route and into. Oh, you know what? It can go to the warehouse or the city station. And oh yeah, it can go to the city station. That's what we'll do. We'll go out back here, get a small station, and put it in here, and pick up that salt. Make them bring it across the river by little boats, I guess, and come over here and hook into our line like so. And we'll run salt directly into that city station right there. Okay, that should get salt coming into Yokohama. And chickens. They're not getting enough chickens. But we can easily run chickens directly in there. We will just expand the station. Now I'm looking for opportunities to go right in front of a supply tower. like this. And we'll go out of track 2, run full, go into the city. Okay. So now we've got chickens headed down there. Paint, got plant steel. Oh, they could use some toys. Now we know what we can do. We can take this, how are we looking up here for toys? We got 66 toys up here. Good deal. So we're going to take our toy factory now, or our toy production, and we're going to hook it in. And we'll go down here, Nut. Hook it. Hook it in like so. Put in our X. Remember, that's not a signaling control station. Build our little diamond. Set our signals. And we're going to... shoot. I really would like a run full kind of deal. So why don't let's expand this. Let's do this again. Shoot. Okay, so out of track 3, we want to run full, take these toys and sell them. Well, where can we go? Well, we wanted to do Yokohama. What kind of a screwy line would it make? Oh, that's not bad. It would come down, go through this, and then come over here and get into our little feeding system. I like it. It'll take 232 days. So we're going to run toys down to Yokohama. And obviously, we could run toys. I mean, another way to do this, especially if we didn't have so much track going on here, is run them. I mean, we could even relay it further, bring it down here to a warehouse close to all these cities, and then sell the toys to all the cities. But we're just focusing, we're just getting our tasks done. See, it's very hard to keep this thing up to a high enough rate. Logs, they're actually short on logs. Hard to believe. Well, there's none to ship. Wow, it's a level 4 already. All right, we're at 799. We're done. We'll stop here. That's enough. Yokohama's still growing. It'll put us over the edge, so we'll end up with...
It is
there
finished. We go. Tokyo shines in the light of the world's metropolises. Japan has found a way from the past into the future. His Imperial Majesty sends his congratulations and his gratitude. You taught us the art of the railway and achieved greatness. Japan can now stand on its own 2 feet and tread the path alone. I wish you a safe journey home. Your service is done.
Your service is done. That's another way of saying we have used you. You have made us wealthy and powerful. Now go away. Thank you so much. All right, we ended up 154,000 Yokohama. Let's see how we did. Yeah, we got our president. We got 10 out of 10, 20 out of 20. Perfect score. Took us about 9 years to finish. Yeah, pretty good considering we were trying to solve the wrong problem up in Akita and had to do some massive adjustments, but it all worked out. So not bad. I'm pretty happy with that, and I really enjoyed playing it. I hope you enjoyed watching it. And I'm going to continue playing, just do a little debrief on a few things, kind of lessons learned, if you will. This may look like a mess of track. I kind of, honestly, it kind of isn't. It's actually pretty cool. I like it. This maintenance station here was a complete, nah, I wouldn't do that again. Let's see what kind. It's got 132%. It's really not bad. It's okay, but I just as soon, honestly, I just as soon have the 4 cities with maintenance on them and then have just a supply tower here. Would have been just as good and cost less money, and I think probably everything would have gone even more smoothly. So it's not a big deal. Not a big deal, but I don't think I would do that. I was just playing with that. I just wanted to throw one in there because I never use them. The other thing about the 4-city cluster, and here you can see Chiba's growing again and doing pretty well. This is a tough one because of the topography, the river coming through here, and especially the bay, and the biggest thing of all, honestly, how flipping close these cities are. They're all too close to each other. It's very hard to do anything. If they were spread out more, we would have more room for warehouses and merging lines and cleaning things up and what have you. But it's fine. It's okay. I probably ran too many trains. I always do. You could if you watch my videos, you could make that criticism of every time I play. I run too many trains, but I'm too lazy to calculate the exact number of trains I need, so I just run a bunch of them. So don't do that. Don't do it right. Don't do it the way I do it. Okay. If you stay task focused, you can get a perfect score. We just showed that. Never did build this up. That's funny. Our 4-city cluster here was just a great engine for everything we wanted to do. And you can see how much you spend on it too, and how much you have to do to get it really running, to get all these level 5s and all this stuff. And I think another thing I would do, if I play this again, I'm going to go to I like the warehouses with the basic goods attached to each city. I love that. But I think I would have individual lines from each of the feeders going to each of the warehouses. That means you need, large train stations or a bunch of small ones or whatever out at each of the rurals. But I think you get a much better flow, like Tokyo has wood now, and for the longest time it didn't have any. So there, look, Chiba's growing, Tokyo's growing, Yokohama's growing. We got all 3 of them growing, and that's basically what we did with Yokohama, is just keep focusing on what do they need, what they need, and making sure we're feeding their industry, the usual drill. So that's all cool. Other thing is this task up here in Akita. First of all, read the task carefully. But if you do a 3-city cluster, it's a very powerful way to go. Look at this. 118,000 in Yokote, 183,000 in Akita, and 105,000, I forgot to put my favorite building, a museum in Nishi. And so that was all good. Yeah, I think that's enough. That's enough. Again, I hope you enjoyed this. I certainly enjoyed playing it. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it'll help you become a better player. I hope you'll like, comment, and subscribe, and join us for our next Railway Empire video. Thank you.